Let's go ahead and use the distance formula to find the length of the segment that is between these 2 points right here. Notice in the directions they want an exact answer. Decimals are not allowed. So when we're done, if our number is not a perfect square and we go to take that square root, we will not be using a calculator. We have to go and do that simplified radical form, that factor tree that I showed you. So hopefully from your notes you remember that the distance formula is the square root of x1 minus x2. That's -3 minus 2, and then squared, plus y1 minus y2 squared, that's 0 minus 5 squared. Okay? Again, be really careful with your negatives and your subtracting. If you're not good with negatives, just use that calculator. I'd rather use that than get it wrong. -3 minus 2 is -5. We've talked about parentheses, and be really careful that your number stays in parentheses at this point. Plus 0 minus 5 is -5. Now, some of you are probably thinking, could I have switched the order and then subtracted and not ended up with negatives? That's totally, absolutely fine if you want to switch the order of both of those. Remember, again, if you're using a calculator, use parentheses around the -5. Otherwise, ask yourself, or remind yourself, it's saying do -5 times itself. -5 times -5 is positive 25. Same thing over here. Go ahead and add those together and we end up with square root of 50. At this point, we're not using a calculator because they again said find an exact value. So we're going to be using the factor tree since 50 is not a perfect square. 50 can be broken down into 25 times 5 or 25 times 2 would be better, or 5 times 10. Remember, it doesn't matter how you break the numbers down as long as you'll always end up with the same prime numbers when you're done. So I end up with a 5, and a 2. You're looking for pairs. There's my pair of 5s, and remember, pairs get to go out of the house, just like if you have someone to pair up with, you can leave the house. That poor old lonely 2 is stuck at home, so that stays inside the radical. So my exact distance between these 2 points is 5 times the square root of 2.